Ogrish Collection Volume 2 blows more than a fucking hooker on Black Friday. I'm gonna tell you that right off the bat. And before I actually get into this video, I'm gonna let you know that I have more coffee in my system than a white soccer mom. I've had 5 cups of coffee in the past 7 hours. On top of that, I've been awake for almost an entire day in a row. So if you want to know how I feel, it feels like my eyes are being pulled down by 2-ton weights. My body has enough energy to fight a great white shark while being 200 feet submerged underwater. As of right now, I want to grab some bear claws, cut off my fucking face, attach my face to my ass, and shit through my mouth. Just to give you some perspective. And by the way, yes, this movie fucking sucks. It sucks dick. It licks nuts. It is garbage. Matter of fact, calling it garbage would be doing it justice. Instead of watching this shit again, I'd rather go bobbing for apples in some piranha-infested water. This shit fucking sucks. I would rather stick my hand in a vat of acid. Ogrish Collection Volume 2. If you look at the Bill Goldberg over here, you look all the way at the bottom, you got Fubar, which I won't be doing by myself like I said last time, but you got Ogrish Collection. 6 volumes of perpetual bullshit. If I rip off the title of this one, just rip it off, I could literally just label it Fetus Munchers 3, and you wouldn't fucking know. This is literally could just be called Terrorist Crazy. It's like an Al-Qaeda mixtape practically, and there's nothing special. A lot of replays and all the bullshit, so again, with that being said, hopefully you guys on Patreon vote for me to do Registros for Dice again, because this shit was 3 hours. Watch it 3 to 4 times. Oh boy, and I still got like, what, 4 more volumes? So that's going to be fun. So please, to all you guys on Patreon, give your boy a break. And let me do the 2nd volume of For Dice. I'm begging. Madcon. I am begging. So with that shit being said, before I get into the history video, make sure you like and subscribe. That shit helps me out a lot, especially as of right now, where I feel like, I'm crumbling into sand and being put into an hourglass. I feel like absolute fucking shit. Also, make sure you check out my Patreon. That helps me out. Hey, shit, son, I just broke 100 patrons yesterday. Huge appreciation of that. You see, now the smile's coming back. A lot of gratitude. Thank you so much. Now, let me sip this coffee from fucking Wendy's, and this coffee sucks ass. Literally tastes like I'm rimming a pig. So again, check out my Patreon. I have a lot of exclusive content over there. And on top of that, make sure you join my Discord. If you join my Discord, again, I'm very active in there for like 10 to 11 hours a day while I'm talking to people, chopping it up and shit. You get to know me on a more personal level, and you get to see a lot of the crazy shit I actually say. So with all that being said, let's go ahead into the history of this. It turns out, would you know... Well, first off, rest in peace, Live Leak, because that shit got shut down. But this whole entire mixtapes, this whole series of 6 pieces of shit mixtapes, were actually made from the years 2005 to 2006. How do you come to that conclusion, Johnny? I came to that conclusion because a lot of the footage in here literally has dates at the bottom, and it says 2005. You know what I'm saying? And, well, you can't make an Ogrish collection after 2006 because Ogrish was closed down. So it was made between the years of 2005 and 2006. And by the way, I just hit my fingers on the armrest of my chair, and now my fingers hurt like a motherfucker. So with that being said, who made it? I don't know. Nor do I give a fuck. The person who made it is unknown. They're about as unknown as a person that's probably hiding under my bed right now. Which, after I just announced that, I creeped the fuck out of myself, so I'm probably going to check under my bed after I turn this camera on. And now I hear some rustling under there. So it looks like I'm going to have to pull out the 12 gauge. With that shit being said, how long is the movie? About as long as my dick. 167 minutes. Or 2 hours and 47 minutes and like 15 extra seconds on the side. You know what I'm saying? Very long watch. Pause. It drains, man. Especially having to watch it not once, but twice, but 3 times. And I've been awake for almost an entire day. I want to rip my ears off and just switch them. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking dying right here. Now there's about 200 clips. Same as the first one. It's a very, very long watch. It's going to wear on you. It's going to tear on you. And it's not because you see some of the most, insane shit. Now, there are some very unique clips and some shit that I was kind of, that was cool to see. But most of it is just like, okay, yeah, that's corny. And they just keep replaying it and replaying it and replaying it. And they replay clips and they'll take that same clip that they just showed you and show it again. But this time, it'll have music behind it. But this time, it's going to be in slow motion. And they're going to play it 5 times in a fucking row. And it wears on you. Makes me want to rip my pupils off and put them on my fucking nipples. Christ almighty. So with all that shit being said, let's pull out that goddamn whiteboard. So in Cockroach Collection Volume 2, apparently there's 200 clips. It states it on the fucking back, which again, the incompetence inside this whole entire mixtape, I wouldn't even trust that. I think I counted 206 clips, but I was also counting those replays and all the time you play the same shit, adding music, or maybe he took away music or played it in slow motion. It was just really fucking bad. But let me stop ragging on this ass wipe. Anyway, there's 106 clips of Gore throughout these 200 clips. Cold Raven, what's Gore? I'm glad you asked, little Jimmy. Matter of fact, little Jimmy, what the fuck are you doing over here? This is a YouTube channel where I talk about people getting beheaded. Shouldn't be here. But anyway, 106 clips of Gore, and out of these 106 clips, you got your beheadings, people getting mutilated, people, in car accidents and shit like that. That's what Gore is. It's guts, a whole bunch of blood and shit. And on top of that, you got 64 clips of violence. What is violence? It's people getting the shit beaten out of them. People actually doing things that did probably kill them, but there was a lack there of guts and explosions. Like, there was a dude who jumped off a building. Clearly fucking died, but you didn't see a splat of guts everywhere, so therefore, it's violent. After that, you got 21 clips that include animals. No, there's no MD Pope type of animal shit in here, where people knocking heels with animals, but 21 clips of animals either being killed or killing people or biting people and fucking people up. So that was pretty cool to watch. I always like animals, watching them attack people. Which, there's this one clip in here that blew my motherfucking mind, which I'm gonna get to. I mean, this has to be the dumbest human on the entire fucking planet. He does something that's so stupid, and he is so deserving of what happens to him, right? Anyway, after that, you got 6 clips of nothing. Yes, you heard that correctly. Nothing. Where nothing happens. You may be blown away by that, but don't worry. I'll let you in on it. After that, you got one cool clip. Yeah, it's cool. Look at the font. Cool, right? Yeah, it's fucking cool, ain't it? Got one badass clip, which I would tell you, but you're going to have to hold on for that. It's pretty badass. And after they got one clip that is porn gore, which of course porn gore is something that includes porn and gore or some sort of genital mutilation. So with all that shit being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Are you ready for me to describe possibly the worst mixtape ever made in human history? And by human history, I don't mean by, religious standard where they're like, Earth is 2,000 years old. I mean by, scientific standards where this place is billions of years old, all the way back to the time where cavemen were shoving stones up each other's asses, to modern day where people are being sent to fucking Mars. I mean, this mixtape is so fucking bad, it makes Fetus Munchers look like a trendsetter, like some standard on which mixtapes should follow this recipe. That's how bad this shit is. I'd rather stick my dick in a bologna sandwich and have somebody cut it at a diagonal angle than watch this piece of shit again. I'd rather play Russian roulette with a fully loaded revolver, fully fucking loaded, than watch this piece of shit again. I would rather dip my balls in honey and smack it against a bee's nest than watch this piece of shit again. I mean, it's just the most time-wasting thing ever, and I hope I can make this as entertaining as possible. It's a log of shit, but I'm going to try my best to turn it into a filet mignon, and of course, that's kind of my job, to be entertaining, bring some entertainment to your fucking life. So hopefully by the end of the video, I did in fact do that. But of course, wired off of coffee, I'm going to try my best to, keep some sort of restraint. Got covered in chains like Devil Jin or some shit from Tekken. Anyway, before I actually get into the first clip, I want to, state this one. The quality was so bad inside the first one. Again, I said it looked like 2 pixels were having sex on my screen. And I gotta say, it's not often that I'm impressed. But I am impressed in the fact that the fucking Volume 2 quality, somehow, some way, is 10 times worse than the quality of the first one. I am actually I'm blushing in my face. I'm so impressed. It is that fucking bad. It looks like someone witnessed the situation, described the situation to somebody, and the person that had it described to them was like, and illustrated it on an Etch-a-Sketch. It is so fucking bad. So with that shit being said, the first clip, let's take it from the top. The first clip shows one of those up and down roller coaster things, so I already know off the bat I'm gonna use this image that I took the other day. Yes, the other day. Don't judge me. God, fuck. Anyway, it's one of these up and down roller coaster things, and it starts malfunctioning and people are flying off of it and dying. But the camera quality is so bad, I literally had to pause mid-clip, call out my doctor, and to see if I was fucking developing glaucoma at a young age. It was that fucking bad of quality. Then you have the second, clip coming up, where it's 3 guys on the knees, they do a little intro or some shit. Then you got this, Al-Qaeda member behind them. Yeah, Al-Qaeda, because again, this is before ISIS, the early 2000s, mid-2000s. And he's reading off a poem. He's like, roses are red, violets are blue. I'm a Muslim extremist and I'm here to behead you. And it's about 5 minutes and nothing happens. Not that I want to see people get beheaded, but you know, it's kind of what I was expecting. Just 5 minutes and then it just abruptly ends, which again, this goes into that nothing category. And there's about 5 other clips where nothing happens. Just absolutely nothing. Just speeches and bullshit intros, you know, some anime Naruto intro, you know, picking up their heads, trying to look all cool and shit, and nothing comes of it. You know, abruptly ends. And it shows a vehicle explosion compilation, shows it from different angles. And then you get shit like this. Woo boy. Let's get comfortable for this one, because this is going to be a discussion. You know, a soul-to-soul discussion. I don't know what it is, but it's as if humans are born with this bell in our heads. And this bell tells us, danger, danger, stay the fuck away. And sometimes it feels like some people aren't born with that thing. And I don't understand what it is. How do you not have that? And you got these people who are doing an intro because they've been captured by Al-Qaeda members, and they're saying they're part of a Christian peacemaking group. Oh yeah, because when you're a Christian, you know, what you want to do is you want to go and convince a Muslim extremist, again, extremist, emphasis on extremist, because I know a lot of Muslims that I'm friends with, and again, very peaceful people, but there are extremists out there that kill in the name of their Lord. You know what I'm saying? So you got these people, these Christians, who are going out to the Middle East to try to convince these Muslim extremists that are about, I don't know, 500,000 beheadings deep, and they try to convince them, what you're doing here is wrong and you should stop it. Have you lost your fucking mind? Have you gone mad? I think you're fucking crazy. You're crazy. You're trying to convince Muslim extremists who literally cut people's heads off like they're fucking animals to a God that lives on a cloud that's not even proven by science. I'm a Christian myself, but again, there's no actual solid proof of this. That's why it's belief. And they kill people for it. And yet you're like, hey, I got a good idea. Let's go over there. Which, it reminds me of a situation, right? I'm going to make a video on it. SJWs. They do some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. So there was these 2 females who were on Twitter. This happened a couple years back. This is a true story, and I'll actually make a video about it. There was these 2 SJW females who were trying to convince, you know, people on Twitter that all that, you know, beheadings and the Muslims exploding shit, you know, Muslim extremists, let's be specific, that all that shit was just propaganda and it wasn't as bad as people say it is, even though literally the Middle East is an entire fucking civil war zone. You know, it's all made up, you guys. You know, it's not as bad. And they were being like little fucking apologists, right? And they decided to go to the Middle East to prove their point. Well, what do you think happened? I'll let you think. You're done thinking? They went missing for about a week or 2, and then video surfaced online. You want to know what that video was? The same 2 females who were being little apologists for them. It was a video of them being captured in the mountain by Muslim extremists and getting beheaded. You died trying to prove a point that had no point in being proven. You literally just got your head cut off because you wanted to be a fucking bleeding heart idiot. That's just so stupid. You know, and it's not being stereotypical. Like, literally, these people are extremists for a reason. This is why we don't call them just Muslims. That's why we call them Muslim extremists. And you died for what? For fucking what? You're dead now. And I would call you stupid, but I can't because you're dead. I couldn't imagine the fear that they were going through at this moment. But at the same point in time, I don't feel bad for you. Because you literally spent money on plane tickets to die. And again, you wanted to be that fucking ignorant? There you go, you made your bed. Lie in it. I can't understand the stupidity in some of these people's fucking head. Like, literally going to the Middle East trying to convince extremists that what they're doing is wrong is like coming to New York with a pocket full of fucking cash and hundreds leaking out of it. You're looking for a problem. Anyway, Next shit, it shows like, vehicle explosions, the same ones from earlier. This time it's sped up or slowed down and shit. It shows a group of people who get blown the fuck up. And this guy is saying Allahu Akbar or whatever, and he sounds like he's crying it. Like he's just fucking coming from the heart. Like he's just tears down his face, tears of joy. Like he really means this shit, you know what I'm saying? Now he gets to say it with some fucking pride. Hold on. Take that shit with you, sell on eBay for $3.99. Yes, that's the beginning of the auction. And then it shows prisoners give some intros or whatever, like it's an anime, and then nothing happens. As I said, some more nothing clips. Then it shows a chick who hung herself, right? And I found this shit was crazy, right? Because she hung herself, but if you look at the roofing of the house, I thought that this shit would have gotten blown away. This whole entire house would have gotten blown away by the same hurricane that took away that bitch from Wizard of Oz. I mean, this house did not look sturdy at all. But somehow this chick fucking, hung herself. And again, I thought it would have been taken away by some hurricane from Wizard of Oz. Speaking of the hurricane, how crazy would it have been if like Hurricane from like WWE came into that motherfucker and he's like, what's up with that? You know what I'm saying? To anybody who's actually watched WWE and then like Rosie comes in and clotheslines the fuck out of her. That shit would have made the clip so much better. But with that being said, it shows corpses in the street. One guy was like burnt, so he looked like a hairless hamster. Then it shows like this trash thing, right? It shows like a whole entire car wreck, and you got one of these like not a forklift, what do they call them? Like a bulldozer, right? Picking up the trash that was left there from this car crash, and it was a lot of trash. So it kind of reminded me of that mixtape made by that asshole named Ted. Yeah, Ted, I hope you're fucking watching. You're a piece of shit, scumbag, fucking cocksucking snake, and you're a backstabbing fucking little whore. And I promise you right now, you're blackballed from the fucking Mondo Gore community, and I'll see to that. You're a disgusting, two-faced little fucking bitch, and you have backstabbed two people over a compilation. You stole their clips over a teardrop of clout, and then you went into hiding. Which I'm going to make a separate video, calling you out, because of course I did call you out on the Mondo Gore Reddit post or whatever, and that shit blew up, it hit front page, and then you went into hiding again. God, and then you decided to tell everybody I banned you from my Discord, which again, the logs and everything prove otherwise. You were never on my banned list. You're just a fucking lying sack of shit. You know what I'm saying? Not even your mother fucking loves you. I'll tell you that much. She's told me personally she doesn't love you, okay? So I'm not making that shit up. Anyway, with that being said, it shows a guy jump off of a building, and he lands on his legs. So, I mean, in my opinion, it's like Suicide 101, where if you jump off a building, you try to land on your head. Why would you jump off of an 80-foot building to land on your legs? Guess what? You know what you just did? You just shot your spine up your fucking back, so now you just got a long neck like a giraffe, and now your asshole moved up 6 inches, so now your tailbone's coming out your shit crack. You just fucked yourself up, and now you're probably gonna die within 10 to 15 minutes of just some of the most agonizing, like gruesome pain ever. It's like Suicide 101 to land on your head. I don't understand this shit. Then after that, it shows like these Americans. I felt American as fuck watching this video. That I still got Puerto Rican blood, but I just heard like a eagle soar through the air. This video was so American. So they were recording, they were like in Iraq or some shit, and they're recording, and they drop a missile on this building, and then they start roasting the fuck out of the people who just got smashed by that missile, and it's just the most American shit ever. It's like, fuck yeah, you know what I'm saying? Piss in the face of the enemy. Page 1. Done. Fuck, that shit landed next to a whole bunch of wires, so I don't want to cause a fire. Well, 11 minutes in. Alright, cool. Shows some 9/11 footage, and it shows like, a terrorist get hit by a fucking Predator missile. He just gets smack dab with it. It shows this guy who gets his arm tied, and it gets like pulled. It's like tied by a rope, and it gets pulled, and his whole entire arm gets ripped the fuck off. Then it shows a tank run over a landmine, and when it does, the terrorists start, cheering and shit. But literally, it does nothing to the tank. The tank keeps moving forward. I mean, it looked like someone threw a firecracker at fucking Kane. It did nothing. It was ineffective at all. It's a tank. You're gonna need a little bit more firepower if you're, trying to blow up a fucking tank. That's why they called it a tank. Because it tanks. You know what I'm saying? Then it shows a whole bunch of fucking extremists with motors and SAM turrets and shit, which was pretty cool. Then it shows a whole bunch of corpses in the street. Shows a car crash compilation, 3 to 4 clips, and one of them does more flips than a fucking gymnastic bitch. So I thought that shit was cool as fuck. Starts doing like some log rolling. Then it shows 5 to 6 clips of like corpses and stuff. People beheaded on stakes. This one dude's dick is like tied in a loop-de-loop knot, and it's like fucking just destroyed. After that, it shows, more dead people on the street. And it shows this one guy who was like tied in like this weird position, and he's dead. And for some reason, he has a small dog statue balanced on his head. Yeah, I don't fucking know. The first thing that came to mind though was like, when you're on the phone with the, Middle Eastern that's trying to scam you and shit, and they say like some of the dumbest fucking insults that's not even like coherent. I'll be like, hello, you're a scammer. They're like, I'll fuck through your face. So I'm assuming they called him like a bitch head or something. I've had, scammers call me like, fuck through your face today. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck does that even mean? But I do know you can curse at them, be like banchod and thirty makachu, which is like your mother has a cow pussy in Indian. And then they get fucking pissed. They get pissed when I say shit like that. But, it's well deserved, If you call me up asking for my social security number, why, of course? Is public education available around you? You know what I'm saying? Like, want a picture of my fucking nuts too? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I might as well just give you my fucking shirt and the keys to my house. Fucking crazy. Yeah, mad lad. After that, it shows cars, buses, and military vehicles getting exploded. 3 to 4 clips of that. Then it shows more interviews prior to a beheading. These guys are getting interviewed, and then they get beheaded. So this is the first time that actually people get beheaded after the fucking interview. So hopefully this is the trend that sticks. Then it shows a titty trap. What is a titty trap, you may ask? It is a much more harsher version of a booby trap. So this is the third word I invented. First word I invented was a chubba. So what a chubber is when your dick is semi-hard, so it looks chubby. That's the first word I invented. Second word I invented, or more of a phrase, is an octonoggin fish job, where a female cuts off an octopus's head, puts it on your dick, and then gives you a blow/hand job. Now the third one is a titty trap. A booby trap is some Home Alone shit. Oh, you're walking up the stairs and you got like a paint bucket that, you tripped the wire and a paint bucket hits you in the face. It's comical. It's a booby trap. A titty trap means you fucking died. It's some serious shit. It's the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, boobies, you got tits. You know what I'm saying? It's the fucking next level of this shit. So it shows a whole bunch of guys walking in the street. They just get gunned down. All of them almost dead. And they're in a firefight. And most of these guys end up dying. Some of them, start log rolling away and shit. And that's practically that clip. And then here's where we're going to get onto the stupid shit. It shows an alligator. And this is a massive fucking alligator. I mean, this is like I don't know. These guys are definitely not in America. But this is like an American alligator. You know that there's alligators throughout the world. But American alligators are like the fucking massive ones. 500 pounds. Like 15 feet long. Paws. And this is a massive fucking gator. And they cut open its stomach. And they start pulling out limbs. Yeah. Limbs of like what looks like to be a preteen. Which is pretty fucked up. But hold on. Check this shit out. That's not going into the mic. But you can definitely still sell it on eBay. For $6.99. A preteen girl's limbs out of the fucking alligator stomach. Which I have to say. If you die to an alligator. That's pretty much natural selection. You kind of deserve to die to the alligator. Because it's... How do you die to an alligator? The shit needs, all fours to walk. They're not exactly the fastest things on earth. They have to drag their stomachs across the ground. They can't bite upwards, you know what I'm saying? The biting distance isn't exactly the craziest. And you can dodge an alligator by walking around it. If you die to it, it's just natural selection. But anyway, they cut open the gator's stomach and they pull out grown-ass fucking limbs. Or, limbs of a preteen girl. What I mean by grown limbs is like these pretty big limbs. But you can clearly tell it's a younger girl, which... sucks to be you. Sucks to be you. Then you have the dumbest fucking shit I have ever witnessed in my entire fucking life. And when I mean this is the dumbest shit ever, I'm not saying that to like exaggerate. I mean this is actually the dumbest shit I've ever witnessed. So these circus performances where people like to fuck with the most dangerous animals on the planet? Like, oh, it's a lion. Let me put a steak in my ass crack and see what it does. So there's an alligator and they're tapping it on the head to make its jaw open up. And then this guy sticks his hand in an alligator's mouth. What does the alligator do, you may be asking? It fucking bites it and does a spin and almost rips this guy's arm completely off. And I would literally call this guy fucking retarded. But I'm pretty sure someone who is wouldn't even do that. But alligator is dangerous. And they wouldn't even stick their fucking hand in the alligator's mouth. But you got this asshole who literally... What clicked in your head to make it say, let me stick my hand in the gator's mouth? Like, I wouldn't do that for $10 million. You stuck it in an alligator that's like hundreds of pounds, you know, and I just shitted on the alligators, right? But if you shove your hand in its fucking, you know, mouth, you're just begging for trouble. You know, I just down-talked it, but now I'm going to talk it up. Because at the end of the day, it is a few hundred pounds. And it does have, you know, some of the strongest jaws, you know, enough to crush a car door. And it has like 100 teeth. So if you willingly shove your arm in its fucking mouth, yeah, you're looking for danger. You know what I'm saying? But at the same point in time, I think you can avoid that danger by not sticking your fucking limbs in its mouth. That just may be an idea. That's just a theory. Some of the people in this world, I don't understand. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Then it shows, you know, a Gore compilation, this beheading with these guys in black robes. And then it shows people getting shot and shit. So that's page 2 right here. What are we, 19 minutes in. Again, this shit goes like after 25. So, oh, sweet. Yeah, I shoved the papers in some fucking water. You know, that evaporated condensation, some shit from the coffee cup. It shows back-to-back explosions and shit. And this one dude who got shot from like 100 yards away, which was pretty fucking cool. I mean, that dude had dead ass, like, on accuracy. He was on that motherfucker. Then it shows, you know, this guy give a small speech, and then he shoots the other guy in the head. It shows 5 clips, which are about 10 minutes of them replaying the exact same fucking gunfight over and over and over and over and over. We replay like 2 or 3 times. One with just the normal voice, the one with music, one without music, one where everybody's dressed up in skirts, one where people have fucking party cones on, and one where people are dressed up as unicorns. They just keep playing the same fucking clip with just different gimmicks behind it. It gets very old, very fucking fast. Then it shows this guy who just walks out of his car. And I tell you right now, man, they fucking laid it on him. They blast this dude to oblivion. I mean, he just gets shot the fuck up, and that's just about it. And it does replay that again, but this time with music, and then it has a more in-depth type of thing where they go and ravage through his car after the fact. And then after that, it shows, you know, fucking a crash. And after this crash, I kid you not, it just happened. Like, this crash happened like 20 seconds ago or 30 seconds ago. And after this car crash happens, you see everybody's mutilated and fucking gored. And you see flies come to the corpses almost instantly. So I say, you know, that really says a lot about the fucking country's conditions. You know what I'm saying? Where fresh meat has, you know, thousands of flies like that. It really says a lot about the fucking country. Then after that, you got like this one truck that's flying through the street. And like 5 guys with AK-47 start just unloading on this guy. I mean, they're just emptying fucking clips. These guys are more bananas than monkey shit. They're just unloading on this motherfucker, right? And with that shit being said, it's not like they're shooting 22 caliber bullets. These are AK-47s. They shoot 7.62 bullets. Not these little wabbit hunting season bullets. It's these massive motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So 1 or 2 7.62 bullets, one of them can kill you instantly. You know what I'm saying? And they shot at least 200 of these shits at this guy. And they just keep on going, and you just see the truck, you know, cruising a little bit forward and forward because the guy had his foot on the gas probably before he got shot 300 times and turned into a slice of fucking Swiss cheese. But after the fact, he probably did look like fucking SpongeBob. So that guy got absolutely shitted on. After that, you get like this, what do you call it again? It's like a 5-minute speech of, you know, again, before these beheadings, you know, Al-Qaeda typically loves to give these fucking speeches where we give their they give their demands. I'm not a part of that. They give their demands to America or whoever the fuck they're talking to. And I kid you not, the camera quality is just so bad. The guy who's about to get beheaded literally looks like Question from DC Comics. It is that fucking bad. And then he gets his head cut off after the fact. Then you got like this AC-130 that blows up this giant crowd of like 20 people in the street. You get another beheading that the camera quality is so bad, it looks like it was recorded on a Leapfrog tablet. So there's that. Also, it shows, you know, a snake eat a rabbit, right? So I started scratching my chin. I was like, I think I've seen this before. Then it shows 2 autopsies. Scratch my face again. I think I've seen this before. And it shows this guy kicking the shit out of animals. And that's when it struck me. This whole entire section right here, about 5 to 6 minutes, is taken from the first one. That's some Fetus Munchers Volume 2 shit. You stole from yourself. At what cost? I don't know. But just know you're an asshole for doing it. Anyway, after that, it shows a motor strike, then some more corpses. Then it shows back-to-back headshot interviews. These guys giving interviews, and then they get shot in the fucking head after the fact. So the software that I used to record my microphone actually did just crash, but it's no worries. We are back at it. I'm going to pick up right where I left off. You know, back-to-back headshots. You know, after the interviews, the guys get shot in the fucking head. Nothing too crazy there, but at least, you know, people are starting to die after these fucking interviews. Not that I want to see more people die, but it's a lot better than this mundane piece of shit. Anyway, it shows some people get stuffed in the trunks, which I thought my computer was actually glitching the fuck out because it would freeze on a frame. The audio would keep playing, but again, it's just this terrible quality that looks like it's being recorded through fucking beer goggles. And these people getting shoved in the trunks, and this one guy gets shot by an RPD, not an RPG. You know, these big-ass machine guns, RPDs, gets gunned the fuck down. After that, it shows a compilation of more interviews that lead to kills. It shows 3 to 4 vehicle explosions, and it shows this guy who's an absolute sad sack. He's holding like his passport, his ID, and all of his information like this. Well, he has 2 guys holding these fucking massive M60, you know, machine guns and shit. And he looks sad. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you know, talking in whatever language it is. I don't fucking know. I'm not even going to try to assume what it is. But, you know, he seems pretty sad. I can tell why. You know, this is not going to lead to anything good. It doesn't show what happens, but we can all make assumptions of what happens next. So that's done with this page. I'm a gassy boy, so... I'm fucking it up right now, ain't I? So on eBay for $4.99. Yeah, price is getting up there, huh? I could be able to get all these out. Probably made some of y'all a millionaire already. So go invest in some Dogecoin. Interview. So it shows another interview kill, but 2 clips of this. One of them is one guy who gets killed, and another one's a group of people who get killed after an interview. It shows a vehicle explosion. So at this point, I'm convinced that I do know the maker of this movie, and it's probably fucking Michael Bay with all these explosions and shit. Then it shows this one guy who's tied up on the ground with his hands behind his back. And you got this other guy who's standing over him doing the fucking Gordon Ramsay knife sharpening shit. And he goes to behead this guy. Now, I don't know if this blade was that fucking dull that even after sharpening it, he could still barely cut this guy's head off. Or maybe the guy getting his head cut off is that fucking thick-necked and he's that strong and resilient. I don't know which one it is. But at the end of the day, this was still a very brutal and slow beheading. And then after that, you know, 3 more beheadings follow. So there's that. Shows another vehicle explosion, and then shows the aftermath of a vehicle explosion, and one guy's like, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, like 7 times, and then before the clip even ends, he's like, Me gusta, and that shit had me raising my motherfucking eyebrow like The Rock, like, what did he just say? You know what I'm saying? That shit threw me off, which was some crazy ass shit, you know what I'm saying? That threw me off big time. I don't know whatever Spanish motherfucker escaped over to the Middle East and is fighting for their cause, but just know he's lost his damn mind. After that, it shows a badass clip, which I don't stand, you know, I do not agree for what they stand for. I do not agree with the tactics. I do not at any point share any opinions with these people. But if I were to say that this was not badass, that would be me being fucking ignorant to the situation. So this guy lines up 3 dudes in a row, he shoots 1 bullet, kills all 3 of them. That shit was badass. And if you disagree, you're just lying through your fucking teeth. 1 bullet, 3 kills, that's a bad dude. You know what I'm saying? Then you got this guy who looks just like Joe Flacco. You know, Baltimore Ravens quarterback for over 10 years. You know, shit. Then he went to the Broncos and the Jets. Now he's an Eagle. You're just tarnishing your legacy, man. Just hang that shit up, you know. Should have hung it up after you left Baltimore, man. It's breaking my heart to see this happen to you, Joe. But it shows this guy looks just like Joe Flacco. And some other dude, you know, reading off bullshit. Then out of nowhere, they're squatting down like little schoolgirls taking a piss in the woods, and then they get gunned down. So there's that. Then it shows a guy who had a botched hernia surgery, where he has this whole entire long cut on the right side of his, like, you know, near his belly button down to his bladder. And it turns out that's not where he had hernia. He had it on the other side. So they cut him open on the other side. You know, there's a massive score about it, and he's, you know, kind of talking about it and narrating it. And the fact was that they kind of were like, yeah, you had it on both sides, even though he knows he doesn't have it on both sides, because if anybody knows, it would be him, because he would feel the fucking pain. And that's malpractice, so he should sue them instead of bitching about it through a video. And halfway, you know, he halfway shows his dick, you know what I'm saying? You don't see it, but he's like right there. And ain't nobody here trying to see that shit, you know? After that, shows another autopsy. And then it shows this crazy motherfucker riding an orca whale. Yes, a killer whale. He is riding it. He is sitting on the back of it, you know, reverse cowgirl, humping the fin. And while he's riding an orca whale, another orca comes out of nowhere and just smashes him. And he falls into the, lake or river, where the fuck he's at. I don't know. I think it's like a SeaWorld or some shit. But just know he was riding an orca whale. Which, fun fact, an orca whale is not even a whale. It's a fucking dolphin. Did you know that? I didn't know that until I looked it up. So that shit blew my mind. It's part of the dolphin family, which is why I hate, the English language, or I guess American ideology. You see a whole bunch of gooses. You want to say gooses, but it's geese. And then you say, cactuses, but it's cacti. And you got mooses, but no, moose plural is still moose. So, fuck this language to hell. But one more thing I want to go back onto dolphins. Females, I'm going to have to call y'all out. I'm going to put y'all on the hot seat right here. What is this anomaly of females getting humped by dolphins? And don't fucking pretend and don't play ignorant. You know what I'm saying? I've seen hundreds of videos of it on YouTube. And it's not like I go looking for this shit. I'm just saying, recommendations is a son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I've seen at least 20 to 30 videos, if I'm being realistic, of females, dolphins jump on them and they start humping at them. And then the females open their legs even wider and start laughing. Like, what the fuck is that? I know 99.99999% of females in the human population did not participate in this. But I'm just going to call it out for what it is. The people who did participate in said action just happen to all be females, and they all look at their husbands and laughing and shit, which if I was the husband, I would have dragged the dolphin out the water so it can drown on the fucking land, and would have pushed my wife into the water so she can drown in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is crazy. I would have gone fucking mad on some Shining shit. Then after that, it shows more corpses. Shows some people knocking out some cows over the head with like a hoe or a pickaxe. I don't know, but they lay a good one into them to knock them out with like one good strike. And they start beating the head, beating the fucking heads in, with about 5 to 6 more wings at it. So that happens. They do it to about 4 to 5 cows. Then it shows a guy fall and he smashes into the floor or whatever. And he does like the most cartoon noise ever. It's just the funniest shit. You gotta hear it for yourself. Which, speaking about here for yourself, there's probably going to be a watch party tonight or the day after. But I'm definitely not going to be doing 2 to 3 replays. With Registros Fatais Volume 1, I did like 8 or 9 replays. Not doing that. This shit is 3 hours long. No motherfucking way, okay? But Cold Raven. If you caught it, you caught it. If you didn't, you didn't. On some fucking flu shit. Then after that, it shows a parachute failure of 3 guys. The parachute does not, well, it does deploy, but it deploys incorrectly. So these motherfuckers go ahead and die. Then it shows a car. It's like the exact car from fucking Family Guy that does reverse and it goes forward. And it goes reverse and forward like 10 times, right? And there's like 5 to 6 cops. And at some point, about 10 minutes of this guy going reverse and forward, trying to get away from the cops. So they say, yo, fuck this guy. And they start blowing this dude away. They start unloading the guns on him. So that's page 4. Page 5. Shows more autopsies. Shows, this shit right here is crazy. So there was this guy who was walking in the street. Mind you, this is a fucking car chase. The car's going like 60 miles per hour. There's a sad bastard who just happened to be walking into the streets. He gets hit by a truck. He starts spinning on the floor. He looks like a fucking ninja star. And then the cop car that was chasing the other car accidentally runs his ass over too. You want to talk about a bad motherfucking day? You got it right there. I mean, damn. You got smashed by a truck so hard you started spinning like a disc in a PlayStation 2, and then the cop bumps you over, you know what I'm saying? Because you see the dash cam and you see the car lift on top of him. It's like, son of a bitch. You want to talk about wrong place, wrong time? There you have it, you know what I'm saying? So that right there should be used in all schools for don't jaywalk. That must have sucked for that dude. After that, you see another explosion, aftermath. And then this pig that was tied down. Now, this shit was fucked up. They got like a little torch, and they're cooking this pig alive. Mind you, it's alive and it's kicking and shit. And they're torching its skin, and then they do this for about 3 to 4 minutes. Mind you, its skin is bubbling up and shit. Which, man, I hate animal abuse. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, animal abuse, and watch some guy get beheaded. I'm just a huge advocate against animal abuse. I fucking hate it. I'm just an advocate against abuse overall. And there's this one cocksucker in my comment section. You're against animal abuse? Well, you eat burgers and steaks, right? So that means you're for it. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Okay, because people at the farms abuse them. That means I'm partaking it by consuming the fucking, output that they have? No. At no point is that blood on my hands. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and keep eating your fucking leaves and your grass and your front lawn, you asswipe. Fucking stupid vegan fuck. God, some of y'all just stupid. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Since you're a fucking vegan, what you should do is go out and get a seed and grow yourself a fucking brain. Dumb son of a bitch. That was like, I remember reading that shit and just being dumbfounded by it. And then after that, they burn the pig alive, and then they actually start feeding it to get its strength back up. And the pig is actually chowing away, which kind of made me a little bit happy. You know what I'm saying? The pig was eating, but fucking hell. Before that, it's pretty fucked up. Then it shows a female get bit by a pit bull. Which to me, pit bulls are kind of thought to be an aggressive dog, when in fact the most aggressive dogs are actually chihuahuas. Pit bulls aren't that aggressive, and if a pit bull is aggressive, that means it had a very poor owner who has abused it for a long time. Which of course you usually see pit bulls in the hood, which yeah, people who have dogs in the hood typically have very aggressive dogs, so they treat them like shit. Because these are very shitty people. That's why they live in a fucking hood. You know what I'm saying? So if you live in a hood, stop getting dogs. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with dogs, and they were pretty much aggressive. Because again, you're aggressive around them, they pick up off your energy, and on top of that, you really don't treat them too well, which again, obviously money did get right at a point where we started feeding our dogs 100%. Andy, this was years and years back, so of course, that shit, I do feel bad for it. Again, I was a kid at the time, but just seeing people, I hate it when people get animals who can't take care of them. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I grew up around that shit. If you can't take care of an animal, don't get it. Point blank, it's simple. You're just giving yourself another task. And what you're going to do is you're going to hurt, other animals and possibly other people, depending if that animal gets loose or not. So, so the pit bull is very aggressive and is biting this woman's hand. And at a point, it does let go. And she starts pulling the owner in front of her. And it's, of course, this fat-ass white bitch in this big pink dress. So she looks like a fucking strawberry. And then she, is like, me, and starts shooing the pit bull back inside. And this chick's, like, holding her hands, and they're pretty fucked up. Then it shows another person get bit by a pit bull. This time, this pit bull is shot and killed. So, got put the fuck down. Then it shows this guy who didn't look both ways, and he gets hit by a car and flies, like, 30 feet. And he's just unconscious in the air, and it slams into the pavement. Then after that, you see another person get ran over, but this time it's a race car. One of these speed racer-looking race cars. She absolutely gets smashed by it. And then it shows a corpse. Shows a guy who skateboards and he jumps off this platform at about 15 feet in the air and just eats absolute shit on the ground, just smashes into the ground. Then it shows this person who points a gun at the side of an RV. I mean, he comes out the side of an RV with heat, and these cops iced the fuck out of him. There was about 7 to 8 cops who were just waiting for his ass to come out. He came out the side, put his arm up with a gun, and just gets blown the fuck away. He drops like a sack of shit, immediately puts his ass down. And then right here was a crazy fight. It was a crazy ass fight. There was this dude, right? Let me put the setting. It was on a beach, and there's this guy who's drunk as fuck, as the narrator points out, and he was in a white t-shirt, and he's fighting this guy who's tan and has like a porn star mustache. Looks like Dan Severn. And these motherfuckers are fighting, and the dude with the white t-shirt is not punching. You know how kids nowadays punch? They do this fucking Like, no, he is fucking like laying into this dude. Like, he's sitting on this porn star dude, and he's just mobbing him. He is just laying into this motherfucker like he stole money from him. And then the camera cuts, and the guy who in the white t-shirt who was laying into the porn star dude, the camera cuts, and out of nowhere, he's on bottom, unconscious with the porn star on top of him. And the dude is face down, ass up. So those porn star moves came in handy. And the dude in the white shirt is unconscious. The narrator explains that he was choked the fuck out. So obviously you have someone's back, choked him out. That's a rear naked choke. Which is crazy as fuck. Which he does the ultimate Chad move. After he choked out the guy in the white t-shirt, he gives a mouth to mouth, which pause on that. But he resuscitates him. And he actually gives him some water. So it's like he whooped your ass and then took care of you. Talk about getting fucking sunned. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, you is mini-me from now on. You actually have to go to the government and get your last name changed to his. He owns your ass eternally. That's it. You're done. You know what I'm saying? Got your ass whooped and taken care of. Shit, man. You better be lucky you don't put your ass on punishment for the next 2 weeks. There shows rabbits getting shot. About 2 to 3 clips of that. Shows some car accidents. About 2 car accidents. This shows his corpses, right? And it's a whole bunch of corpses and shit. And this person is just mangled, and they have a perfectly cut U, or like, some type of, oval out of their arm, like it was bit by a creature that's arm, but his mouth was big enough to bite a chunk out of its arm. I don't know what caused the mess, but it's just like a tornado of corpses everywhere. That's the best way to explain it. It looks like some crazy shit went down, like some Predator X just came through and fucking wiped out this whole entire little village. After that, it shows a dead mouse get consumed by maggots, and it's sped up so it can kind of see it in fast motion. So we are about 10 minutes left. All right. So right here, there's about an hour left of footage. About 100, no, I wouldn't say 100, about 60 to 70 clips. So because this was very repetitive, I decided to look through that next hour of footage. Probably a little bit less than an hour. And I decided to pick out the best of the best. So again, so I'm going to keep on saying beheading and headshot and that and this. And so this isn't 8 pages of bullshit. And so this isn't a 2-hour fucking video. Holy fuck, I keep burping all the coffee. Anyway, we're going to go right here and we're going to show you some of the best clips. I'm going to describe them to you. So you got a baby that has Harlequin. So if you don't know what Harlequin is, it's like this Joker, you know, type of shit. Yes, and DC does play off the name of Harley Quinn. But Harlequin is like some backup Joker or some stupid shit like that. You already know. You can look it up yourself. It's kind of like a Joker in a sense. And there's a disease called Harlequin where when a baby comes out, it looks like a crocodile's dick. And its eyes also look like peeled tomatoes. And its mouth is like... And that's what it looked. It's the most disturbing shit. I mean, if that came out my wife's pussy, man, I would grab it by the ankles and slam it against the counter and put it out of its fucking misery. And then I would literally strangle my wife and put her out of her misery. And I would jump out the window, land on my head, and put me out of my misery. In other words, I would pull a Chris Benoit. Jesus fuck. But anyway, that's what Harlequin is, and that's what it does to a man. Then after that, it shows Scott Steiner versus Sid Vicious in WCW, where he jumps off the top rope, does a big boot, and absolutely snaps his fucking leg. I'm a huge WWE fan, WWF, WCW, Ring of Honor, TNA. I love wrestling. So I immediately saw this kid, put a smile on my face. Sid Vicious absolutely snaps his fucking leg, and he oversells it. After that... It shows this weird bitch get her tits nailed down to the fucking table. Now, the most fucked up part about it is, I gotta say this much, this isn't my first time seeing something like this. That to me was the most fucked up part about the whole situation. You know, she does get her tits nailed to the table pretty firmly. But again, this is like the 3rd or 4th clip I've seen of some shit like this being done. And I see something like this in porn gore. And then they started like smashing it down like with like some like mammogram, and he's like moving it to make sure it was sturdy. I remember that clip because I was like, what the fuck is happening? Then it shows this guy who gets his tongue sawed in half so he can have the lizard tongue. Like he's actually sawing it in half. Then it shows like a female do it to herself. So there's that. Then it shows a Gore compilation playing the same Michael Myers Club remix song that you saw in the first one when they used it for the Dylan Klebold, Eric Harris, Columbine shootings. Same exact club remix of this Michael Myers shitty song. It's terrible. Don't even bother looking it up. Then it shows the dumbest shit I've ever seen. So it's Africans. Yes, it's happening in Africa. They're dancing around one another while they tie each other down and whip each other. Yes, they tie one another down and they whip each other. The motherfucking irony of this clip is profound. I watched this shit and I just fucking facepalmed. You know what I'm saying? That shit's like, are you kidding me? You know? Then after that, it shows 9/11 footage. People jumping out the buildings and shit like that. And then the entire compilation ends with the JFK assassination. He's just chilling on the cut with his doll, you know what I'm saying? Putting his head on his shoulder. Then boom! This motherfucker's, you know, tomato gets popped. That shit was crazy, you know what I'm saying? Not often that you see a president dying on film. Especially when it got his head blown the fuck off. And it's in color, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty good quality. It's like 720, you know, 720 pixels. Pretty good quality. That shit happened like, what, in the 60s? So with that being said, that was Cockrish Collection Volume 2 or Ogrish Collection Volume 2. Yeah, it sucked ass. It was a massive rim job. 3 hours of pain and torture, watched it several times over, and it sucked fucking butt. Now, it did have some clips in there that I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, that's neat, that's unique, but overall, it was just a terrorist kind of, you know, compilation of what happens in the Middle East for the most part, and it was just dull, it was boring, you know, the first one wasn't that bad, it was very introductory, it wasn't crazy, but this really was just useless. It's one of those things where watching it doesn't make any difference or any impact on your life. Like, it's not like I'm ever going to bring this up again until someone else brings it up. Or maybe I'm telling them, you know, maybe I was asked a question, like, what was the worst shit you ever seen in your life? Not as in, like, you know, some MD Pope bad where it fucked with me for a little bit. And I was like, holy shit, I remember when seeing this. No, I mean, like, what was the worst shit you seen in your life, as in what made you so bored that you actually wished death upon yourself? This would come up. The fact that Fetus Munchers blows this out the fucking water is a problem. And whoever made Ogrish Collection, I hope your fucking boiler room explodes while you're in the house. And I hope you don't die from it. I hope you get lit in flames from it. And while you're running in flames, you get to see your whole dead family. And then you die from it. So this does not belong anywhere near tier 8. I don't think the first one does either. And from my assumption, if this, boat keeps going, Ogrish Collection Volume 1 was here. Again, not tier 8 worthy though. And now Volume 2 is here. Then I'm only assuming Volume 3 is just going to keep on stepping down. When they keep on descending in the hellhole of garbage and boredom. So all that shit being said, like, favorite shit, most of the comments, subscribe. I'm your boy Cold Raven. I'm probably going to finish up editing this video and knock the fuck out. Been awake for about almost 24 hours. Whew. Peace. So as of right now, I have been awake for 24 hours in a row working on this. Yes, I've stayed up for an entire fucking day. As of right now, I'm starting to crash a little bit from all the coffee I've been drinking. On top of that, my tongue is now swelling up. And the whole entire fucking top layer feels like it's been hit with a cheese grater. So, excuse my pronunciation on some of y'all names. I apologize ahead of time. But one thing I do want to say is, as tired as I may be right now, the hype behind the fact that I got over 100 patrons, I think I'm like 103, 104. Thank you so fucking much, really. Thank you, because that's the thing that kept popping into my head when I started, dozing off and saying, what, I really need to take a nap. And I was like, no, fuck that. I got to keep pushing through. Got people behind me who keep on supporting me and keep on pushing me to keep on doing this type of shit. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say a huge thank you to each and every single one of you. And this time we're actually going to go from Z to A. Starting off with Zachary, Zach Champion, Yike, your boy Wankstein, Exoden, Windwolf, Vitui Manuel, Tyler Tapley, The Cup from Two Girls One Cup, The Bruce, the worst channel on YouTube, That Girl Sam, Steve Garrix, Stephanie, Spaghetti Ninja, Serenia Cifuentes, Sebastian Roth, Sean, Scott Scobb, Samuel David Carter, Ryan Wren, Running Cloud, Roy Hernandez, Romina de la Torre, Ramon Mesa, Flovic, Para, Pablito Escobar, Udham Hood, Niskin Cole, Nipon, Necro, Mr. Know-It-All, Maximus Bram, Marluxia, Mama Susie, Magnolia Fan, Luke Baxter Carr, Leon the Peon, Leo, Ladybug Panic, Krill Pill 1, Craig Green, Kitty Vicious, Kill Coat Kid, Kieran, Keys, Kevin Hoover, Ken Bates, Kaleidoscope, Caden, Casey Madison, Juju, Josie Machina, Jorge Gamino, Jesus Romero, Jesus Moya, Jesus Christ himself, Jessica Lim, Jennifer Painter, Jennifer Carr, Jake Alstad, Amy, Illusion, Hungarian Comic, Grave Krupa, Graham, Jesus G, Gas Draws, Fontaine Sensei, Felicia is my waifu, Evan Alpaul, Emmanuel Conejo, Easy, Doodoo Cheeks 420 Ballsack, Donovan Van Trump, DJ Misogynist, Denal 360, Dick Bud, Dawn Flower, Dark Moon 2, Crazy Hungarian Motherfucker, Cody, Christian Infante, Carlos Hernandez, Cara Smith, B-Wall 6, Buttermilk Biscuit, Berkshaw, Brian, Braden Darkwind, Boofin Jankum, Betty Butler, Beat Baby, Awoke Kia, Austin Baker, Armando Rudez Jr., Arlette Ramirez, Aimless Amos, Abby Metheny, and Aaron Davila. Appreciate all y'all support, man. I am fucking crashing in and out right now. All I gotta do is just put this in there, export, which is gonna take another 30 to 40 minutes. I need to stay awake, and then I'll throw the video up. Thank you to all my supporters. Appreciate all that shit right now. Holy fuck. Peace.